Hello, welcome to episode 7 of Habibi Talks. I'm your host, Habibi, or just B for short. And this is a space where we keep our hands busy, our hearts open, or let the conversation guide us. And when you're here, you're Habibi. Today I'm joined by Hevin.
How you doing?
And Hevin, thank you so much for being here with me. Why don't you take your time and tell us a little bit about yourself while I set the game up?
Absolutely. My name is Hevin, and thank you again for that wonderful introduction. I'm a music producer based out of New England. I recently moved to the Florida area, but first and foremost, like I said, music production is my passion, what I love to do. I've been producing music for, a long time, approximately 13 years or so. One of the things that got me interested in music, in electronic music, and in writing music was absolutely Levels by Avicii. R.I.P. Avicii. He's an incredible producer and really changed the industry as a whole. And I'm definitely part of that change. He influenced my life in so many ways. I was lucky to see him when I think it was 16 maybe. He came to Boston, and that was a wonderful experience. He had a huge influence on me. And then as I got older, I just fell more in love with electronic music, with writing music, with everything to do with music. And it's just been a wonderful journey. I got my undergraduate in Berklee College of Music in songwriting. I graduated in 2022, and now I'm here at Full Sail University getting my master's in business. And I'm just loving the journey. I'm here for all of it. So that's me in a nutshell.
That's awesome. You said a lot of amazing things in that.
Thank you.
One of the cool things that you said that interested me was you met your idol.
Mm-hmm.
Did you want to dive in a little bit about that? How you felt when you met him for the first time?
Well, I will say I didn't meet him formally. I didn't get a chance to shake his hand, but I think it was an awe and just absolutely inspiring moment to. I was already a kid, but it made me feel even younger because when Levels came out, I was about 13, maybe 12, 13 years old. When I saw him in concert, it was maybe 16 or so.
Mm.
So it kind of just brought me back to that little kid feeling of oh my God, this is somebody who I really look up to, and we're in the same room, breathing the same air. Granted, he was 700 seats away from me, on the big stage, but no, it was a really incredible opportunity to just it felt like the first time I had really been around a celebrity, even though it wasn't my first time actually. That's a different conversation. But when I was a baby, I was actually held by an actress, which is really cool.
That's awesome.
But when it came to Avicii, it was just a wonderful experience to see not only the emotions that he's able to deliver through his music, but then seeing him live, seeing him with the stage, with the pyrotechnics, with everything, the laser light show.
Wow.
It really opened my eyes to what live performance in electronic music really has to entail. So it was a wonderful experience.
It's your turn whenever you want to get started.
Oh, absolutely.
Up to you.
All right, I'll start with a basic move here. See what happens.
Yeah, let's do it. How much do you know about chess?
I actually played a lot of chess when I was a little kid. Let's see, I must have been 5 years old, I want to say, maybe 6 years old. My parents enrolled me in a, for lack of a better word, chess workshop thing. And then that eventually got me into doing a couple of tournaments. I did not place very high. I'll tell you that. I was not. But was I in the room? Yes. Did I compete on occasion? Yes. So I do have some experience with chess. I know, if you want to say above average, but I'm by no means an expert. So.
Well, you just said you were in a room with experts.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
That makes you an expert.
Yeah. I'll take it. I appreciate it. I'll take it. But those people were smoking me. Again, I was a little kid. I was 6 years old. But even my competitors, who were also my age, they were a lot more diligent, shall we say. I was not a diligent child. Of all of my qualities, I'm sure my parents can attest, diligence is not something I grew up with. So, where to go from here?
What got you into music if you seemed like you were pretty good at chess?
Well, music, how do I describe it? I think as a kid, everybody is looking for an outlet for whatever emotions, experience, anything that they have. Chess just didn't feel like that outlet for me. It felt like a fun thing to do, but I didn't think I was, I don't know, finding myself through chess, if that makes sense. But when it came to music, I definitely feel a strong attachment to it. I've just always been surrounded by music my whole life. When it came to my siblings, for example, my brother, he played the violin when he was younger, and then eventually got into percussion, playing all sorts of different drums. My sister, she's incredibly artistically inclined. She played the flute for many years, and then that also, not music, but she was also a painter and an artist. So that inspired me for the visual arts, absolutely.
Yeah.
My grandparents, they played instruments as well. So I was always surrounded by music. It always felt very part of my life. And so when I got to an age where, like I said, the whole Avicii story and everything, and I found interest in trying to recreate music, I think that's really where my eyes opened to the whole conversation that music and art can allow for, that I, at least to your question, was not experiencing through games like chess and things of that nature.
You were able to express yourself in a different way through music than you were with chess.
Yeah.
When did you come to that conclusion?
Oh, very early on. Honestly, I think it was and maybe, we all have kind of false memories. I guess we kind of put experiences together that maybe weren't together. But
yeah,
the way that I remember it, there was so there's multiple stories coming together, actually.
Oh, right.
My brother, like I said, was a drummer, and at one point he started playing an Indian instrument called the dole. They use that in a bunch of Punjabi music, Bhangra music. If anybody has heard that, that's a very distinct sound. And so he was actually hired by basically a DJ crew who was doing weddings and things of that nature for Indian people. And so the DJ would be there at the reception and be throwing this big party, and then they would basically introduce these live instrumentalists to kind of heighten that experience, and especially take people back to like that homeland kind of feel. So that's what my brother was hired to do. Yeah. And so there was this one particular, it was actually a New Year's party. I remember that, and I want to say, well, again, if I was 13, I was very young, so it was a long time ago. But there was this party, this New Year's party, and my brother had dragged me out there. I was excited to go. I was, oh my God, I get to go to a party. Like, that's super fun. Adults have to be there, whatever.
Yeah.
But my brother was there working, playing the drum for the audience and everything. And the DJ had played Levels by Avicii. And this was actually the first time I ever heard the song. I never even heard of anything, but when he played that song, as soon as it started, it just it caught my ear in such a way that it felt like I was having all of these thoughts at the same time of I love this, I want to do this, this is what's right for me. It's it kind of all hit me at once. So,
oh wow,
yeah, it's kind of hard to explain. It's just a sudden, immense, overflowing stimulus of, this is what I want. That's how I felt when I heard that song on that day. So again, it's kind of blending the stories of my experiences with Avicii and also my family history and my brother and everything with instruments. So yeah, it was just all at once,
That's so cool to hear about how that one song got you into this music.
Oh,
so cool.
Yeah, absolutely. And even my siblings, especially my sister, can tell you how annoying it was for me to be learning piano and be like, oh, I'm going to play this same song 100,000 times every single day. She's just like, can you play anything else? And we went on vacation once to Key West, Florida. Very fun time. They had a big, beautiful white grand piano in the living room. Oh, and I was playing that song the whole trip.
Yes.
My sister was losing her mind.
That's how we do as brothers.
Exactly, right?
So music has a big impact on you from the young age.
Absolutely.
If music wasn't around you as much as it was, do you think you would have still pursued it?
No. Absolutely not. I think, especially in the time frame that I grew up in, and maybe this isn't true. This is just me talking here. You weren't a cool kid if you were in band, if you were in choir, if you were in anything like that. That wasn't the way to get friends or be noticed in a meaningful way. And so, as somebody who put a lot of emphasis on friendships and social hierarchy and things like that as a child, and maybe at times maybe too much, I think that I probably would not have decided to go into music knowing all of that if it wasn't something that already felt normalized to me. Yeah, I probably would have been doing something like retail or, people say I'm a good salesman. Yeah. My mom thinks I should be a lawyer, honestly. So
it is your turn. I don't know if you moved. Did you move?
I moved this piece. I don't know if you moved something since then, but
okay.
If not,
so that was an awkward moment.
No, you're good, dude.
I love
no awkward moments in Habibi.
I like that. I know off camera we talked a little bit how your dad was a mathematician, and that really rubbed on you.
Yeah.
Did you want to dive a little bit about that?
Yeah, absolutely. I'll have to think about my next move while I think about my answer.
Oh yeah, take your time.
No, no sweat. How about that? Let me re-ask the question. Yeah. So,
you don't have to answer the questions back to back. It takes time.
All right, why not?
The game also isn't the point if that's just you.
Oh, I know. Well, it could be the game is the point, but watch you. Oh, dude, okay, we'll see.
He's like, I gotta beat him.
Read my mind.
I like that.
Yeah. Would you mind re-asking the question?
Oh, absolutely. So, off camera earlier, you said that your dad was a mathematician.
Mm-hmm.
You want to touch on how that affected you in your career?
Yeah, absolutely. So to be clear, my dad, he's been a software engineer for pretty much his whole life. And so math has played a huge, huge role in not only his work, but also just the way that he views the world. And I think that has a huge impact on me, especially being the youngest in my family, always looking up to everybody in my family as for lack of a better word, a guru, And then, it makes sense. My brother followed in his footsteps, not as a software engineer, but he's in finance. So very math driven, very business forward. And I think that the effect that it had on me was it taught me professionalism.
Yeah.
It taught me how to move with caution and how to make sure that you're moving in the right direction. Something that they do in math all the time is not only solve the equation, but check your work, right? You always have to go back and make sure that, did I do it the right way? Is there a way I could have done it better? That kind of conversation, I think, definitely impacted my view of the world and how I approach music even. I think that's a beautiful thing about music production, and especially electronic music, is it's very much a blend of the artist side of things and then the math side of things. At least maybe the way that I engage with music production, people have different backgrounds and engage with it in different ways. But I think at the end of the day, I'm viewing it through two lenses at once, kind of two hats. And it's like, oh, am I going to wear this hat today or this hat today? And in a moment's notice, I can flip it. And I think that's something that I learned specifically through my dad. Not that he can flip it, but what to flip to.
Yeah, you were able, as the observer, you were able to observe what he does, what he was good at, and then improve on it. Or, take it your own way.
At least, on the flip side of things, when it comes to artistry and passion and craft, my mom actually went to school for fashion and design. So I've always had this kind of duality. Like there's the logic side and then the passionate emotional side. And like, how can I balance that? Especially being the child of these two people. So.
That is so cool to hear.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, as you were saying it, I thought myself smiling. I'm like, that is so cool. He said the logic side and the passionate side.
Yeah.
Does that come and play in your music? Also, completely side question. You moved, right? Because I didn't keep track of it. What I was doing is I'm keeping track of who moves what. That was a viewer's request. It was one of our viewers. Thank you so much for requesting that. It's my friend.
Oh yeah.
He's been watching every episode. He's awesome. Thank you.
I last move I made was, I believe, and camera, you can call me out if this is wrong.
yeah.
I believe it was this pawn that I moved.
You did move that. Yes, we were talking about that last as we asked the question.
I think it definitely has an impact. I think, again, coming back to like these two hats that I wear, my approach to music is very much like, how can I make it emotionally interesting, but also sonically high quality? I think that sometimes in the music industry, you have to, or not have to, but I think there are concessions made where maybe they don't need to be made. You can have something that feels really artistic, but maybe it just wasn't sonically there. And then you have something that's really sonically there, but it's kind of missing that heart and that feel. So that's what I'm really trying to do and balance with my music, is how can I have both at the same time? So to your point, like the logic comes into play with mixing and EQing and gain staging, and it's all very number based. It's all like, oh, I need to find this particular frequency, or look at this harmonic, or something of that nature. And then there's a separate tangent I'm going to go on in a second, but when it comes to the passion and the music and the artistry, like, am I just having a good time? Like, am I enjoying listening to this song? Like, that has nothing to do with numbers and everything to do with what you feel on the inside.
Yeah.
So that's definitely something that I am trying to balance. One thing that I did do, the side tangent I was going to make, is recently I designed my own studio. And that's back up north, unfortunately not in Florida, but I had the fortunate experience of being able to kind of plan out, like, from the ground up, like, okay, this is my square footage, and I want to put these walls up and use this kind of material and use this and do it this way. And from start to finish, I was very, very involved in the process. And obviously, I didn't lift the hammer. I didn't actually build it. But I was in touch with some really talented, really high quality people, who helped me bring that vision together. So kind of to the point about logic and everything, like, that was a very, like, research driven thing. Acoustics in general is very math based, I'm sure, as the audience might know. So yeah, that experience was, where I got to lean more on my logic side than my artist, my passion side. But it was all towards the same end goal of, how can I make an environment that my passionate side feels safe to be in?
That's a beautiful goal.
Oh, you dog. Oh, you dog. Oh, my God. Wow.
You're doing a lot now. It's awesome to hear where you started, your origin, where it all came together, what your plans are right now. In between these two stages, have you faced any doubt or any challenge that you couldn't overcome, but overcame anyway?
Yeah, I think when I graduated from my undergrad, I think, or my bachelor's, however you want it, whatever, I didn't immediately find work in the music industry. And I had the fortunate experience of being able to live at home, not pay rent. So those, I wouldn't be here today if I didn't have that ability. But I think, when I was working, so I was working at a car dealership, and it was a really humbling experience. It was very, like, I was just always outside, whether it was rain, shine, snow, and when I'm from New England, so the snow that's pretty high.
Yeah.
And it didn't matter the weather. It's just, I was always out there, and I was using my hands, using tools, on my knees, under the car, just everything you could possibly think of. Not a mechanic, but I was doing a lot of work nonetheless. And I think that experience really opened my eyes to a couple of things. One is, again, it taught me some humility of, it's okay to, get down and dirty and get the work done, kind of thing. But I think, and not even that it's okay. Okay is the wrong way to phrase it, but more of like, you should take pride in it. Being able to say, hey, I really did that myself, and not just I knew a guy, right? But then the other side of it is having the experience of realizing that wasn't where I belonged, and that there's a different world that's out there for me. I think was the biggest hurdle I had to overcome, was kind of taking that leap of faith and saying, I'm not going to work at this job that I don't really care about. I'm not really enjoying. I had a variety of reasons why I wanted to leave that job in particular. And it really was like I said, a leap of faith. Like, I don't know if you played Assassin's Creed, I'm sure. Yeah, it's like really that kind of feeling of like, just, I have to do something. I have to get up. I have to make this happen, because, as unfortunate as it is that I didn't get these opportunities, coming out of my undergrad, that doesn't mean those opportunities aren't out there, and maybe I'm just not looking in the right places. So I think that was kind of the hurdle or doubt I had to overcome, was, is the quiet suburban life really for me? And the answer was no.
You said you worked as a mechanic.
Not a mechanic.
Sorry, not a mechanic. You worked for mechanics, but not as a mechanic. You were an apprentice?
It was a car dealership. I was the inventory manager, and so assistant inventory manager. I ran that whole location. That's a different conversation for a different time.
He is not.
I'm sure my manager would disagree, but again, it was a car dealership. Their whole purpose was like churning, right, selling cars like as fast as you can, and it was my job to basically anything that had to do with the customer's experience before they saw the salesman was my responsibility. So when you walk onto the dealership, how are all the cars parked? Are they clean? Do they have all the insignias on them? Do they have the stickers that say sale or whatever? Like, all of that was me. It wasn't a huge dealership, but it was also a luxury dealership, so they could get away with, it versus the Toyota that's across the street, right? Like that thing is huge, and that's different clientele. So it was a lot of work. It was a lot of responsibility, and it definitely taught me the importance of meeting deadlines and prioritization of tasks. But it was, like I said, it was a humbling experience, definitely a learning experience. So
it's pretty cool that you're able to take a lesson out of that experience. That's a pretty wise outlook on stuff.
Thank you.
Absolutely. When did that version of you start showing? And is that showing your art?
That's a good question. Does it show in my art? I'm not sure I could answer that part of the question. I feel like that's something that, maybe my audience or anybody who's tuning in today, if you want to go check out my music, you can go to officialhevin.com, official HEVIN.com. But does that show in my music? That's a good question. Again, I think that's for everybody else to say. But when did that side of me really manifest? I think it was a gradual experience, but I think it really took off in 2020, 2021. It was kind of peak COVID time. That's where I had a big shift in my character, where I realized that I couldn't kind of rely on old habits that we have as children, especially being the youngest in my family. I felt like there were ways that I could kind of get away with certain behaviors, if that makes sense. And as I got older, I was just like, no, I can't get away with it. And even if I can, is that really the kind of person that I want to be? And so I think that's really where I had those conversations with myself to say, who is that person? And I think, kind of coming to myself as Hevin and everything that I do with my artistry, I think that's really where that manifests. Is Hevin is the best parts of me. Hevin is the version of me who,
so sorry.
Or
Again,
let me make a move because I haven't in a minute. You really put me in a tight situation here, my dude. All right.
What was a tight situation?
See what happens.
Talking about having your name.
Yes. Hevin, I think in many ways is the best parts of me. It's the version of me who didn't have a bad day. It's the version of me who doesn't have to worry about rent. Hevin is very much idea of a person, not necessarily a person. And I think that has been kind of rewarding in many ways to it basically gives me a role model. The way that I view Hevin is very much of like, if I could take all of the people that I look up to and I could wrap this up into one person, what would that person be? And is that the type of person that I want to be? And I think the answer to that last question is absolutely yes. That is the person that I want to be. For example, I have a couple of tattoos now that I got in the past year, and that's specifically because regardless of who I am as Rahul, as Hevin definitely has tattoos. That's like the what I see in my head, you know? And so that's what I'm like trying to walk towards every day, is a version of myself that I am very proud to say is me. And for me, Hevin is that. So it gives me something that I can kind of refer to and constantly check myself to, is like, oh, well, how could I have been better today, kind of thing. So
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
Wow. Hevin is like your compass.
yes, very much. Very, very much.
I saw this move. I'm like nervous of it.
Good. That was the intention. You just did this one, right? Yeah, that was your last move, I think.
Yeah, it was my last one right there. Because I was thinking, okay, this guy, no, can't do that. So what are you up to now?
Well, my goal is to be the best producer that I can be. And for me, production is much more than beat making. You can be a producer and be a beat maker, and that's absolutely fine if that works for you. But for me, I think that doesn't work for me. I want to reach beyond that. And so for me, like, what have I done in the past, for example? Well, when I got my undergraduate at Berklee College of Music, I got my degree in songwriting. I did not get my degree in music production. Now, why would that be? When I was 13, I already had an interest in music production. So I started going down that YouTube rabbit hole of tutorials and everything, just one after the other. And I got to a point where I was like, okay, like I can produce a song. Is that song actually fun to listen to? And I found myself answering no most of the time. And so then that pushed me to, well, how can I solve that? And so when I went to Berklee, again, I got my degree in songwriting with the express purpose of taking a weakness of mine and turning it into a strength. And now I feel like that is a strength of mine. Flash forward to now, I'm getting my degree here at Full Sail University in entertainment business is a master's degree. And that's also same idea of there are certain things that I would like to know more and would like to have a better understanding of when it comes to the industry as a whole, not just music, but kind of entertainment. And how can I take that, what I perceive to be a weakness, move it to a strength? I enrolled in this school, right? So that's kind of my mindset all the time. And so there's plenty of smaller projects that I've been working on, some personal, some with a variety of clubs, both in and out of school, but all of them have the express purpose of taking a perceived weakness of mine and moving it into a strength. Something, for example, as small as living alone, right? I have a 1-bedroom apartment now, and it's the first time in my life that I've been able to live alone. And that has been also like taking a weakness, turning it into a strength. Can I keep my apartment clean? Can I, pay rent on time? Like, can I actually like do all the things that are necessary to live a life without relying on a roommate to take out the trash or somebody to do this or,
Yeah.
So that's really the wider philosophy I have, and I try to apply it in all sorts of different ways. Sometimes successful, sometimes not, and that's part of the experience is just trying to be better. So,
But we are approaching our halfway mark. Would you like to take a break?
yeah, I would love to.
All right. So, guys, we're going to hop on a break. And after break, we're going to do something new on Habibi Talks. Stay tuned. All right, and we're back, and we're gonna try something new on Habibi Talks. But before that, I want to talk about branding. So branding is a part of your artistic career path.
Mhm.
What is branding to you, and what does it mean to you as an artist?
Branding, I think, is a very important aspect of artistry, and especially like the industry as a whole that we are in. And, whether you're a musician or an actor, or maybe you're on TV as like a reporter or anything of that nature. I think it's really important to care about how you're presented, care about how people see you and perceive you. So that being said, I want to give off a professional and calm vibe, and so I try to match that with my aesthetic. Kind of as you see what I'm wearing today. I have a trench coat on. I have a turtleneck on. I have some white sneakers you can't see at the moment. But I think the vibe overall kind of helps to give off this welcoming, but also put together aesthetic that I really appreciate for my own brand. Now everybody's brand is different, and some people like to dress differently. Of course, B is dressed beautifully in this suit.
Thank you.
He wears all the time. It's always a great time to see him.
Absolutely.
But some people, maybe they have a sweatpants look, maybe they have a hoodie look, and or maybe they could have some Met Gala aesthetic. Whatever the case may be, I think you just have to put intention behind it, and that's what matters most. It doesn't matter what you're wearing; it matters why you're wearing it.
It's beautiful because what you wear is part of your brand. This new thing in Habibi Talks is called Dress Like Your Artist.
Wow.
So what it is basically is we already have 3 outfits picked out as you came in. You should go surprised what you were doing that for.
Yeah.
That's what the surprise is. We're gonna see how you would style me as if I was a person trying to understand your brand.
Very cool. I'm excited. Let's give it a try.
Let's go. All right, so we're here. We already have 2 outfits picked out. We're gonna get them started.
Cool. Yeah. So I like to dress like this for a variety of reasons, but mostly I want to come off as well put together and professional. You're already killing it in that regard, so no stress there, my brother. But I also like to choose colors that complement me really well, and try to choose outfits that I feel are versatile enough that I can change at a moment's notice. Like, for example, if I wanted to take this jacket off, this is still a complete outfit. The shirt that I'm wearing, again, coming back to color, I really like the way the blue tones kind of complement my skin. This kind of navy, I think, really complements my skin tone very well. Why don't you give it a try?
Right.
Come on, B.
Okay.
How do you feel?
I kind of like it. I do like the color, especially now that I see it from a different point of view. It's a color that complements my skin tone. I do see the difference.
Exactly, dude. You want to have contrast, but you also want things to complement each other. So now that we've kind of juxtaposed this brown skin tone with this blue shirt, it wouldn't hurt to bring some of that brown back in. So, in this case, I have this trench coat on, but you could do it with a variety of things like khaki pants, for example. So let's give that a shot.
Okay.
How are you feeling now?
I feel like it's breathable.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. I like the style. I'm like casual up top.
Good, because, at the end of the day, I think it helps to balance, like, where are your eyes going to look, right? You want people to typically look at your head, but, for the most part, upper body, right? So now we've kind of concentrated. Everybody's looking at the blue here because this kind of neutral tone is kind of spread out around your body.
Wow. That was a beautiful explanation. Yo.
How can we bring some contrast back into play? Now you have some black shoes on, and I think that's great. But if you, I don't know if people can see my shoes from the angle over here, but these kind of pop out. I'm a big fan of the white shoe look. I've been doing white shoes for 10 years at minimum. So I think some white shoes could really bring this outfit out and make things, pop just a little bit more. So let's give that a shot.
Already. Okay. Whoa.
Big difference.
There's a big difference. Look at the colors. It's like bright, dark, and then okay. You know what's funny is I don't usually wear like this, but I kind of like the style.
Yeah, dude. It helps you stand out. You kind of break from the norm, but not so much in a way that is unpalatable. I think this outfit definitely screams somebody who's put together, but also having a good time. So another thing that can help is our jewelry, right? If you notice, I've got these rings on my fingers here, got my earrings, got my sunglasses, of course, always. So I think that there's different ways that we can kind of complement this outfit. So How about we add some of that?
Okay.
A little bedazzle, a little bling,
A little golden. You know what I mean? You got a little necklace too.
Exactly. I'm a big fan of how these colors come together. I mean, again, I happen to be wearing silver jewelry, but gold jewelry also works for this color palette. So, yeah, we got the watch, we got the two rings kind of matching the same way I got them.
Sir.
And we got a nice, beautiful gold necklace. If you want to just peep that out for a second. Beautiful.
It's legit. I promise. So, where do you see this outfit?
I think that this is something that you can just wear for the most part anywhere. Like, definitely social gatherings, parties, depending on the club, they'll definitely let you in and look distinguished. I think this is a great way to, again, kind of bring that professional and casual, candid feel all at the same time. So,
does this color palette simulate any songs or any emotions?
In a way, I think one way that I've described myself as Hevin, the artist, is in a world of neutral colors. I'm trying to be that like pop of color, that little splash that sometimes things can be a little dull or things can be a little monochromatic, and it's like, how can you bring your own flavor? Again, within reason. I like to make a splash, but not too much. You're not going to see me dyeing my hair anytime soon. I'll say that. Whether it translates to my music, I think that's a good question. Every song is different, right? It depends on the process, depends on the theme, so many different things. But at the end of the day, I try to make music that is energetic, but also feels. How do you describe the softness you feel in a cigar bar, for example, right? Like you feel like, oh, I'm comfortable, I'm warm.
Yeah, relaxing familiarity.
Yeah, exactly, right? So trying to bring some flavor of that into an already energetic music industry, especially house music and a variety of, future house is something that I dabble in a lot. So like, how can you kind of blend these ideas, kind of like blending future house and deep house, I think is something that I like to explore. So that's a long-winded answer for your short question.
No, that was beautiful, because it actually opens up more questions for our next outfit, because the color palettes are very solid.
Exactly. Yeah, absolutely. Let's go give that one a try. So
okay.
Very different.
It is very different.
What comes to your mind? What do you think?
Why did you keep the shoes?
I'm really a sucker for these white shoes. I wear them with practically any outfit, unless I'm wearing dress shoes. I did recently buy some black shoes because, you gotta balance it out. But no, the white shoes are a sucker for me, especially the white sweatshirt, right? It kind of complements. Now we've really changed up the color scheme here. As you said, it's really kind of like monochromatic, like one tone. And so, yeah, I feel like it's a great way to kind of draw your attention to both places at once. This is a very lovely design, and then the flatness of the shoes kind of like helps your eyes bounce from one to the other. Then we have the black sweatshirt, right, and the black jeans. It's a great way of just kind of framing it, right? Like if you just had all white everything, don't get me wrong, all white can look great, but I feel like it's always great to have some contrast. Always great to have something that you put your eyes to and away from. Then we got the accessories, right? We got the rings, we got the watch, we got no necklace this time because this is a very dense outfit. Yeah. The rings, again, same kind of formation. We got one on a pointer, one on a middle, just kind of helps to balance everything out. And then again with the watch, luckily in this case actually happens to have all of our colors kind of incorporated into itself. So it's just a great way of, again, coming off as like casual but put together. Like I could see you going anywhere in this outfit. I could see you running to the bank. I could see you grabbing a meal with some friends. It's a great outfit, and those are my thoughts on it. So yeah, how are you feeling? You feel good? You feel flexible? Like, how are you feeling?
I have definitely worn these two before.
Yeah.
So this whole thing is pretty cool. I do like it. I do like the jacket, and this is also actually this is short sleeve. So if it does get too hot or if it does get too cold, that's why I like that too. You notice that, but you don't really get to see it.
Exactly.
That's also a smart contract of it. When you said dense, what do you mean? How does this look dense?
Dense in the sense that, like, first of all, there's a very puffy jacket, right? I think this is something that, again, we wouldn't really be wearing these in Florida per se, but anywhere else in the country, you could get away with this kind of outfit. This kind of is actually popping off a little bit more in Colorado at the moment, but feels very New York in my opinion. I think that the puffiness of the jacket and the fact that it's this, big black kind of thing, and then you have all this black design in the sweatshirt, it helps your eye kind of look at all of it at the same time, but that doesn't mean that it's not busy. And it's okay to wear busy things. Again, I love to wear dense clothing as well. But I think that, with the sweatshirt, the fact that like you could have a different shirt underneath and then, take this sweatshirt off and it's a completely different outfit now,
Exactly.
So that's what I mean by dense. It has layers to it, both literally like different shirts and things that you're wearing, but also different layers in the sense of, the design going from flatness to complicated and whatnot. And I really love how, especially on this sweatshirt, all of the design is really here. Again, keeping your eye mostly centered on B's, torso and face area. So
It's beautiful. Where would you precisely wear something like this?
definitely to get together with friends. I mean, I've been seen in plenty of outfits like this before. But honestly, I mean, the way that I like to dress is you got to be prepared for anything. And when I say anything, I mean, cameras can come out. Someone's going to take a photo of you and you got to be looking your best, right? So when I say everywhere, you can go to the bank, be looking like this, and like, hey, people are going to be like, oh my God, who's this guy? You know what I mean? But no, for the most part, you got to flex on your friends. It's okay to flex on your friends sometimes. So dressing like this helps you to flex on your friends.
The rings. This is not really gold, but it's like gold, and this one is silver. This ring goes a lot more with this outfit compared to this one. What made you still go with the pick?
I think that well, first of all, this ring you have on that one, the larger one you're talking about, has some silver kind of on the top face of it, which helps it, I think, blend with everything else. You're right that it does have kind of this brushing on it. I want to say it's a gold or a bronze brushing on the actual band itself. And it looks great, but it's also a way of kind of adding a little bit of flavor in there without really drawing so much attention to it. Because if you notice in your watch, you actually have a blue face in your watch. So there's a way of kind of having a little bit of color, a little here, a little there, kind of Easter eggs for people to see when they see your outfit. And then with the red jewel, like I said, it helps to kind of bring attention, right? If you have something in your hand, like a drink, for example, people are going to spot that and be like, hey, man, this guy means business. So.
I do like the contrast. It's different and it's the same. Really look the same because my finger is a little fatter here. But I like this. Definitely wore this before. Definitely would wear something like this.
Oh, yeah.
Really up north because this sweater gets really hot. I like it. I really do like this.
Awesome, dude.
Let's go finish our game.
Let's do it.
Alrighty. All right, we're back. That was pretty awesome. I liked the outfit pick, especially the color choices. You gave us a whole different lens on how to put the colors together, especially with the blue, the khakis, and the white. I wouldn't really usually put those mixes together, especially with the khaki pants. I kind of think of them as work pants. That's how I was introduced to them, actually. I was introduced to them as work pants from people in a program we would do at school. They said khaki pants are work pants.
Interesting.
So viewing them as an actual style, like in a fashion way, was pretty new to me. I'm like, well, that's pretty cool. You would never think of that.
Yeah, I'm glad to have shared it with you.
Yeah, it shows a whole new lens.
The khaki look is something I like to break out on occasion. And when I do the khaki look, I always, as we saw earlier, you have the white shoes and the blue top. But as long as you're wearing any kind of dark top, doesn't have to be blue, it could be black, any graphite, gray, whatever, that contrast between that and the khaki looks really well. So yeah, I'm glad to have shared it with you.
So while you were doing the colors with the outfits, you were giving us really valid explanations, really thought out structure through the colors and the eye, where the eye should rest. With all that detail, how do you add that into your music?
Well, that's interesting. I like to think about my music, or rather the process of making music, as kind of like a sculpting process. Like really from the inception of you're writing the song to choosing your instruments to, getting potentially a vocalist added to the track. In the world of electronic music, it's not necessary. So that's why I say potentially. But then, mixing and mastering, like all of that from start to finish, I really find that to be very much of a sculpting. Like I feel like every time I make a decision, I've kind of literally carved out space for something, either something to be taken out or something to be kind of shown. All that thinking kind of comes from when I was much younger. I took a lot of art classes, so I was in a couple of art programs in school, a couple of art programs out of school, and that really helped me to better understand, those details like you mentioned, like where does your eye fall, and what colors are next to each other, and why are they next to each other, and what is being accomplished when that happens. So that kind of I never personally ever sculpted anything. I don't even think I took a clay class, in elementary school or anything like that. But I definitely take those visual concepts and try to add them to the audio concepts. So
That's pretty cool. It's more thought to it than you would think. Have you thought about modeling?
I've given it some thought. Members of my family have ventured out into modeling and have found success with that. I think everybody scrutinizes themselves a little bit. Everybody's their worst critic kind of thing.
Yeah.
But I do think that lately I have given it some thought. That's what I can say.
At least you thought about it. You got model, but it's not that big. I don't know if that was a good move. It wasn't a big move.
I won't tell you.
Well, tell. I will say.
I have an opinion for sure.
How are you feeling so far?
I feel good. I think it's nice to show the world who I am. I think that's something that's been part of my journey as Hevin is I've been kind of behind the scenes for a while, and I've been really enjoying that aspect of sourcing experience. And I think that I'm at a point where I'm really ready to kind of show everybody what I can do. So I think this is a big step in that process. Being able to come here and kind of put myself on display instead of having to read a bio on a website, that only does so much.
Yeah.
So no, it's nice to be able to be part of this process, especially because I have a whole ton of music coming out soon. So if you guys are interested and enjoy anything that I've talked about lately, definitely, again, check out my website, officialhevin.com. And you'll be able to see as I post new music, of course, all my links to everything, Instagram, Spotify will be on there as well. So stay tuned. This year has got 2026 is going to be a big year. I'll tell you that.
On that note, is there anything you want to leave the audience with before we end the show?
No, I think that about covers it. I'm really grateful to have been part of this experience, and thank you for allowing me to be here.
Absolutely, Evan. Thank you so much for joining us on Habibi Talks. Guys, this has been Habibi Talks. Thank you so much for watching. Remember, when you're here, you're Habibi. Thank you.